Hey everybody, and welcome back to Teachers Talk Money, where I help teachers master their money in order to give back to themselves. Today I am filming part 2 of my series. So I did things I no longer buy last time, and I want to continue on with the things that I'm happy to spend my money on. I think it's really easy to talk about cutting costs, and sometimes it's a little bit harder to actually talk about spending the money on the things that you do value. This is something that I have grown to love talking about, and I think that the people around me are slowly getting on board. But I really don't think we should always talk about the things that we're cutting costs on, because money is a tool to improve your life. So you should enjoy spending it when you do intentionally choose to. So let's get right into it. Number one of the things that I'm happy to spend money on is fancy dinners, and this could be with friends or with my partner. I keep a pretty high line in my going out / restaurants budget because I love food and I love fancy dinners. I live in DC, where there is just an awesome foodie scene, so I don't ever want to have to cut costs on that part of my life and my lifestyle. Number 2 of things I'm happy to spend money on is Unfrugal Travel. If you don't know what it means to be unfrugal, you should check out my video that I'll put in the description below, talking about all the parts of what makes my life an unfrugal life and why this is a lifestyle that I've chosen. But I love traveling in a way where money is not the most important thing. And I say this because I traveled and have had so many trips where the entire object is how little can we spend. And this is fair because travel costs certainly add up quickly, and at those points in my life I was not really in a place to be traveling unfrugally. But now that I save each and every month for upcoming trips, I can afford to do really awesome experiences in the places that I travel. For example, when I started budgeting, the summer after I started budgeting, I went to Iceland. And because I had saved each and every month for this trip, I was able to partake in amazing experiences like scuba diving in glacier water, touring an ice cave, and hiking on glaciers, taking a boat tour of a glacier lagoon, and not worrying about how much money I spent on food and other things. Those are pretty much all things that I never would have done before. I might have picked one big thing and done that and said, give myself permission to spend on that, but I had the money to spend on all those things in addition to the plane tickets and all of the other costs of traveling. And I'm really happy that I had prioritized it, because I got to experience the country in a way that I never would have before. And I'm looking forward to taking many more unfrugal trips. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 3 is high quality clothing that won't go out of style. I talked a lot about this in the inverse in my things I no longer buy video, when I talked about why I no longer buy fast fashion. The inverse of this is that when I do buy clothes, buy really high quality pieces that might be more expensive, but I know they're sustainable and they're a good investment for me because they will last a very, very long time and they won't go out of style. This can certainly be a privilege. That being said, you can find lots of classic and hyper sustainable clothing by shopping at thrift stores. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 4 is my students. Now this is one that's very personal to me because when I was in debt, I had kind of set a standard that I really wouldn't spend money on my classroom. Other teachers, would throw parties for their kids or buy them candy every so often. And these were just things that, because I was keeping such a tight budget, I really didn't prioritize. And I have to say I kind of regret it. I really feel like I could have made that work even when I was paying off debt so intensely. But I think it would have been a lot more worthwhile if I had, because I love treating my students now to class parties, bringing them candy. And something else that I want to continue to do is purchase supplies and just have kind of a store of them where students can take anything that they need. This is my favorite brand and version of generosity in my life, and so it's something that I really get a lot of joy out of using my money for. and something that I wish I had prioritized even when I was in debt. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 5 is expensive items at the grocery store for fancy meals. So Brian and I got an Instant Pot that was gifted to my mom, and she just never used it, so she gave it to us. And with that we got a recipe cookbook, and we have been trying all kinds of different things, as well as stuff outside of the Instant Pot. So we've experimented with French onion soup, which we're also going to make again soon, and I'm salivating right now talking about it. We've made awesome chilies, we have made fried chicken, pasta carbonara. It's a really fun thing that we can do at home together as a couple and enjoy an awesome meal. When I was getting out of debt, pretty much bought the same things every time I went to the grocery store, but now I really appreciate mixing it up in the name of trying something new and eating delicious, awesome food. Number 6 is things that are utilitarian and beautiful. This could be stylish and comfortable furniture, versatile and classic clothing, as I've talked about before, making sure I get a beautiful planner to help keep me organized. Basically anything that is functional and stylish to me. I'm happy to pay a higher price for making sure that all of my tools and the items in my life bring a lot of value to me in their utility, but also are something that I really enjoy the experience of using because it's a beautiful experience. Number 7 is going out or staying in with friends. So going out, especially in a high cost of living city like DC, can run you up a lot of money in food, drinks, and Ubers. And when I do occasionally want to go out, I'm happy to pay those high costs. But there is something to be said about having friends that you enjoy just staying in with and doing a taco night, movie night, wine night. It's awesome and way less expensive, and so I like to find a good balance of doing both of those things each and every month. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 8 is concert tickets for my favorite artists. I have to say that I've been to a number of concerts, and when I do not know the artist very well, or it's just something I'm going to because a friend invited me, I don't enjoy them. Concerts are pretty stressful for somebody like me with social anxiety. And so if it's a band or artist that I'm not really into, I don't actually want to go. But concerts for artists I love have been some of the most amazing experiences of my life. So that is something that I will continue to shell out mass amounts of money for when they come up. But because I am not spending on other things, I'm happy to spend on this. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 9 is rent in DC. This is one I feel very, very passionate about. I spend a lot of money to live in DC. My half of the rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is $900, which is about $400 more than I spent last year when I lived in the suburbs. But in DC, I am surrounded by many friends that also live here, and having access to important cultural events as well as dining is something that has very much enhanced my life. Things I'm happy to spend my money on. Number 10 is furniture and artwork for my apartment. I have to say that I was impatient with making these purchases at first, because since we didn't have a sinking fund for our furniture or artwork for the apartment, we ended up cash flowing these purchases month to month. So like we could get a rug this month and chairs this month, but we couldn't really actually get everything we wanted right away. But this actually helped us in a lot of ways because we've really curated furniture that works really well for the space as well as our lifestyle. Number 11 is candles. I just love candles. I always love having a candle, and I have absolutely no qualms with buying a candle every month. Right now, I actually have a candle subscription month to month that Brian got me as a Christmas gift, so I haven't had to make any candle purchases recently, which has been really nice, but in general, I'm happy to spend my money on candles. Number 12 is gas money to visit friends and family. So I always leave a little bit of a margin in my gas budget in case I have to make any unexpected trips to go back home to Colombia to visit my family or my friends. I never want paying for gas money to be an obstacle in visiting the people that are important to me. things I'm happy to spend money on, number 13 is camping gear. So I never thought I was a huge lover of camping or the great outdoors, but as I've kind of become an adult, I realized it's something I actually love doing with my friends. It's awesome to get away and unplug and just cook really delicious food over a fire, as well as stay out in nature. And having the right gear for camping makes everything so much easier. Having a grill pan and a cast iron skillet and a tent that works really well, or for me, one purchase that made a big difference was buying a $10 inflatable air mattress, which made the entire experience of camping much, much more enjoyable and a little bit more like glamping. But having the right gear really makes a huge difference in camping. So that is something I'm thrilled to spend my money on. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for this video. One thing I do want to note is that the reason that I'm able to make some of these purchases, even if they are more expensive than ideal for my past frugal self, is that I keep my budget month to month. These types of purchases, especially the bigger ones, used to be things that would stress me out so much because I didn't really know how much money I actually had to be spending on these things. So the greatest peace of mind that I ever got was creating my budget. Because not only has my budget helped me clarify the things that I can cut back on, but it has showed me the things that I have enough money and therefore I have permission to spend on these bigger or more expensive things should I choose to. If you are ready to start finding joy in the purchases that you are choosing to make, as well as seeing the things that you could potentially cut back on, please click the link below to get my budget template. Pick the version that's right for you and just get started. As I always say, the most important step you can take in making your first budget is to start. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment below something that maybe surprised you or something that you love spending your money on. And make sure to subscribe if you like content like this. Have an amazing day, you guys, and I will see you next week.